Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Thursday Business Bites. This is actually going to be kind of a double Thursday Business Bites because I was not able to jump on and do it last week, but for a really super exciting reason. I'll tell you in a second why I was unavailable last Thursday. But at the beginning of March, we talked about March being marketing month. And so I'm going to give some tips today about things you should do before you even decide how you're going to market your cake business. So these are kind of the pre-steps that I feel like a lot of cake artists, and I'm guilty of it myself, kind of put the cart before the horse and then end up later on feeling like you have to kind of start over or reverse engineer it. So today I'm going to be talking about things to do before you start marketing your cake business. So as you guys know, I'm a certified Fix This Next and certified Profit First professional with Mike Michalowicz, who is the author of numerous entrepreneurial books. But one of the books that actually is my favorite book of his so far is called The Pumpkin Plan. And I talk about this book all the time because it's been super impactful for my baking business. And basically, the gist of the Pumpkin Plan is to find the perfect customers for you. So instead of saying yes to absolutely everything, you want to make sure you're saying yes to the right things. So this is the first thing I'm going to talk about is what is your perfect product? So I have a little worksheet in front of me that is actually part of the curriculum in Cake Biz Bootcamp in the advanced marketing module. But I'm just going to share a little bit about that with you today. So your perfect product, what is that? It's the thing that hits the sweet spot. See what I did there? Between what you absolutely love creating and what you have a natural talent for. That's your perfect product. So again, if I highly recommend you either read or check out from the library or get the audiobook of the Pumpkin Plan. The whole book goes into a lot of the stuff I'm going to share with you today. But just think about this. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. So my example, and I say this all the time, my example is like special diet cakes, so gluten-free, vegan, those kinds of things. I used to say yes to every single order, including these, because I felt like if I said no to cake orders, that I was going to shoot myself in the foot and I wouldn't have business, and so I would just say yes to anything. But what I didn't realize was that if I loaded up my schedule with every type of order around, I didn't have the time to dedicate doing the orders that I love and that I'm really naturally talented at. There are bakers who special diet cakes, that's all they do. And so, those kind of orders would be a better fit for them and not for me. So, I don't eat special diet. I don't do gluten-free. So I really personally don't know much about it. It's a whole niche that I just don't have the passion to delve into. So by saying yes to these kinds of orders, I'm actually doing a disservice to my customers because they can find another baker who that is their passion and they're amazing at it, and that would be a better fit. So that's just my example. So your example may be totally different. So I invite you to grab a piece of paper and just start thinking about what types of orders do you get really light you up? Like, what are you excited to do? I also invite you to look back at your selling history, or even if you haven't started your baking business yet, but you're wanting to, just look back at the cakes that maybe your friends and family have requested the most and you really do enjoy doing them. and just kind of start making a list of, just make a comparison. So I have a sheet of paper here. So I have like 2 columns, and on one side I've got just like listing 10 of my favorite orders, the types of cakes that I love doing, me as the baker. And then on the other side, I have a column where I can list my top selling types of cakes. And so hopefully going through this exercise, you'll kind of start to see maybe some crossover. And if you see a lot of like, okay, so for me personally, I love to do kind of outrageous, unique, different. I love science fiction. I love horror. Anything like crazy. I love the dessert imposter cakes where it, looks like a hamburger, but it's a cake. Those are things that light me up as a baker. I love doing those. And those are the kinds of cakes that I've become known for. And so people request that from me because that is my specialty. So that's an example for myself. And then once you've kind of made your list, you can go through and start asking yourself some questions. So what specifically do you like about certain types of orders? Is it the challenge? Is it the way you feel about the finished product? Is it the reaction you get from customers? But it's basically like, ask yourself this question. Yay, I love getting these kinds of orders, cakes like these. List those out. And then the next one is to make a list of anytime you had an order and it's like, I hate these kinds of requests. Again, what specifically is it about those orders that you don't like? Is it that you don't feel passionate about them? Do you feel like it's just not your forte? Do you feel like somebody else would enjoy doing it more? Write down your thoughts. And so I already gave you my example. If anyone asks me like, oh, I need a gluten-free cake, I'm just like, I just don't do those very well. I mean, I have a few recipes that I've kind of like muddled through, but I mean, honestly, I've started just referring those out because I'm just not the right fit for that, and that's totally fine. So after you kind of go through that process, you've listed your favorites, you've compared them to what people buy most from you, or from, if friends and family are requesting the most, then you can get really specific about what lights you up or what sucks your energy. And then you should be able to sit with this for a while and write a sentence or paragraph that clearly describes your perfect product. Okay, so that's like first step. So decide what you really want to do. What is your niche? So for me, again, I already described what I love to do, and that's what I've become known for. So that's your perfect product. So then that's actually what I was going to talk about last Thursday, and I wasn't able to jump on. And the reason I was not here last Thursday is because I had the huge honor of being accepted into Mike Michalowicz's, he had a 2-day intensive writing workshop. And again, Mike Michalowicz is the author of Profit First, The Pumpkin Plan, Surge, Clockwork, Get Different. He's just an amazing entrepreneurial author. But I was able to do a 2-day seminar with him, which is why I was not here to do last week's Thursday Business Bites. So super exciting. I am in the process of writing a book. I'm writing a book for home-based bakers who are interested in starting their own cake business, but they may not know where to start, how to do it, and the steps. And I will be sprinkling in a lot of basically everything that's in Cake Biz Bootcamp, but in a book form. So I am currently writing that, and I'm very excited about it. I will keep you guys posted. So finding your perfect product. Okay, then you know what you would like to do and what you do best, and that's what you would like to hone in on. Now, the second step of that is to find who's your perfect customer. So let's just say, for example, you do your exercise of finding your perfect product, and you decide that your perfect product is wedding cakes. That's your jam. You're good at it. You love it. You love everything about it. You're passionate. Awesome. So, who is your ideal customer? Obviously, brides and grooms who are getting married. Possibly also people celebrating anniversaries, things like that. So, you've matched your perfect product with your perfect customer. Before you market, again, these are steps you do before, you're going to figure out, where is that perfect customer hanging out? Where can you find them? So with the bridal example, she's reading local bridal publications. She's attending bridal expos. She's asking around in Facebook groups where other brides are finding their wedding vendors. So here's some examples. So you can connect with other wedding industry professionals, establish a referral relationship. So wedding planners, caterers, venues, florists, photographers, videographers, bridal tux and gown shops, etc. These are just some ideas. You could have a vendor booth at a bridal expo, hold a drawing to win a complimentary box of cupcakes or something for a bridal shower, and then you can, that's kind of like an opt-in where they, in exchange for entering your contest, you can capture their phone number, email, wedding date. If they've met with any other cake vendors, that's a lead for you. You can also, I highly recommend this, to become a preferred vendor with a wedding or event venue. So hotels, any kind of venues that hold weddings or large celebrations. That's actually, so for my book of wedding business, that has actually been the most, the biggest return on investment for me, for my time and marketing dollars spent, was navigating that system to become a preferred vendor with venues. I didn't start out that way. I did expos and online advertising with The Knot and Wedding Wire, and those are great too. For me, it's just kind of been a process, and it will be like that for you too. What works for me may not work for someone else, but I'm just giving you examples so you can kind of have an idea of the process of it. So let's give another example. Let's say you decide your perfect product is fun children's birthday cakes. Okay, so who's your perfect customer then? Okay, most likely parents of elementary school kids. Where is the mom who's, and I'm not saying anything against dads, but usually it's the mom, but the parents, let's just say the parents, planning parties for their kids. Where are they? Well, they're hanging out at school events. They're at pickups and drop-offs of schools, maybe soccer practice, dance recitals. So here's just some ideas for that. You can, advertise in school newsletters. That's usually a very cost-effective way because they need content. It's usually not very much money, so that's a kind of a low-dollar way to do some advertising. You can have a vendor booth at school craft shows, give out samples, maybe sell some cookies, show examples of your work to get them interested. You can have a Facebook business page. You can join like moms groups that allow promotional posts. You can connect with other vendors who cater to children's parties, like martial arts studios, kids party centers, bouncy houses, those kinds of things. So those are they're just ideas. But really what I wanted to really drive home today with this particular live and with all this information is, I see a lot of people starting out, and their big question is, how do I market? Yes, great question. But I didn't know this myself until I learned was that I was missing a step. I was just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what stuck, rather than being more intentional about it and really digging into, well, what do I want to sell? What am I good at? And I feel like most of us too really feel like we just do have to say yes to everything at the beginning. I'm here to tell you that's not effective. It's not the best way. And unfortunately, I mean, I did it. I can tell you that from experience, it's not the best way because, at the beginning, I was overwhelmed. I was doing a million things and I wasn't streamlined. So I wasn't efficient. I wasn't happy because I was doing things that I didn't really want to do. Things that weren't my natural forte. And I'm not saying don't learn new techniques because we're always learning and always practicing, but I just feel like you need to kind of start in your zone of genius and try to stay out of your zone of incompetence. And those are terms actually. I can't remember the book. It was a business book that I read recently talking about your zone of competence, your zone of your zone of incompetence. So that's when you're doing stuff where you're just like, I hate this, I'm not good at it, I don't want to do it. Your zone of competence where you're like, yeah, I could do it, but it doesn't really make your heart sing. And then your zone of genius, and that's that sweet spot that we're all shooting for. And you're going to be happier, you're going to be more efficient, and your customers will be happier because your love and passion for it and your skill is going to show in the finished product. So those are the tips that I wanted to share today. If you have questions or comments, I encourage you to put them in the comments of the video. I would love to know your thoughts on this process, if you've tried it, or if you have any questions or anything. I would love for you to let me know. And then I want to mention one other thing. I mentioned Cake Biz Bootcamp, and I am in the middle of doing a price increase on the current plans that I have now. So I'm announcing to my email list that the prices are going to go up on March 18th, which is tomorrow. But for members of this group, I'm extending that to, I think at least April 1st. I might push it out a little bit more, but I will be sharing information over the next few weeks, just to kind of let you know what it is, what you can expect, and then what the pricing is and how it's going to go up, and just to decide if it's the right time for you. And if it's not, totally fine. I'm here when you're ready, but I just wanted to put a little bug in your ear that is coming. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to share today. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I hope you have lots of orders for cakes and baked goods that are in your zone of genius and that make you happy and make your customers happy. That's what we're all here for. So remember that it's time to live your sweet business dreams, and I will see you Tuesday with a Technique Tuesday, and next Thursday for another edition of Thursday Business Bites. So take care, guys, and I will see you soon.